What is up, everybody? Spidey here, and as always, I hope you're having a marvelous day. I know that I am, and this is the Marvel Card News, where we're going to go over the upcoming releases that have already been announced for 2024 and some that have not been announced up next. 3, 2, 1, let's go! All right, my friends, I don't have a tremendous amount of time, unfortunately. I have somewhere to be here shortly, so I've got to go through this stuff pretty quick. So this is live. So if you're watching this in the replay, today is May the 11th. So however far into the future you're catching this video, some of this may have already been released. Some of it that has not been announced may have been announced, but I want to go through this today. And yeah, we're going to go through the Marvel trading card sets from Upper Deck that are announced to release sometime in 2024. Now, just as a reminder for those who may not know, Upper Deck doesn't actually produce an official release date. There's projected dates that are put out there by distributors, and most of the time they don't hit that mark. A lot of times it's delay, and then you get about a week's notice of an official actual release date. But there are telltale signs, some clues that we pick up along the way to let us know if it's really going to release. And so the set that is announced to be released next, and I say announced, that's not the right way to say it. There are places that have orders for this product that have already started paying for those. And that release is the upcoming Marvel Flare, 2024 Marvel Flare. And I'm going to be getting most of these images from GTS Distributions. If you're not familiar with them, they put out a pretty nifty little video on a lot of these releases that you can see here and kind of catch up on, these cards. So Marvel Flare last came out in 2019. It's a set that I would say is pretty fun. It has original art in it. It typically includes, or at least the 2019 Marvel Flare included cards that were characters that we're not as familiar with, but it does have a tiering system, not unlike Marvel Masterpieces, but also not the same. But it does also have sketch cards in it. It's got some pretty cool inserts. The 2019 had one of, the, how do I say this? It wasn't, it's not the most popular insert, but it has a card in it that has sold for quite a bit of money, and that is the Lucky 8, number to 8 cards. And so it's a fun set. I think people are going to enjoy it. It's going to take a lot of the attention that's on Marvel Platinum at the moment, and it's going to pull it in. I actually think that we're going to see a May release date on this. Let me get out of this YouTube video that they have here. And this is a 90 card base set. It's going to include artists like Ty Rosema, Joel Holtzman, Oliver Harbour, Todd Knock. Todd Rosema and Todd Knock are already in Marvel Platinum. And they have been in other sets as well. Joel and Oliver, I'm not familiar with, and I haven't done any research on them. I'm actually looking at this in real time with you at the same time. There's going to be number parallels in there, number to 15, 5, and 1 of 1s. So that's going to be interesting. But again, this set, let's look at some images here, is going to release this month, I believe. I can't confirm it 100%, but I do think it's going to be released pretty soon. William in the chat asked, how many boxes do you think it'll take to complete a set? Probably quite a few, because if they tier it again, if they do the Flariums, that's what they did last time. It was a base set, and then they did cards after that. I think it was like number to 140. The higher the numbering on the checklist, the shorter printed and the harder it was to obtain those. So probably quite a few, to be honest with you. And for the most part, I believe all the products we're going to talk about today have an e-pack version of it. There may be 1 or 2 that have an e-pack only version of it, and I'll be sure to mention that as well. But again, we're going to go through this pretty quick. I do think this is going to be a fun release. I do think people are going to be excited about it when it does come out. But this is not a set that I think you can like win big on it. Like with Marvel Platinum, people are pulling these Golden Treasure 1 of 1s. Those are, been doing pretty well in the secondary market. I don't think that you're going to have that insert in Marvel Flare at that level. I mean, Platinum has something like 600 1 of 1s. Okay. So I wouldn't expect that. I will be opening up some of this on the channel. I enjoyed uh, 2019's release. I wasn't around in 2019 when it came out, but I did get to open some boxes, and I pulled a really special Spider-Man card, number 20, as a stained glass variant. One of my favorite pulls all time out of a box for myself. It really began, the Spidey hits here. And so um, the next one, now, I don't know what's going to be released specifically after Marvel Flare, but I do want to let you know about some releases that have not been announced yet before I get into the other ones. There's a set called Marvel EX that is going to have sketches in it. I don't know anything else about it. I haven't seen any sketches or anything like that. I just know that it's out there. Marvel E and the letter X. We've got Marvel Flair throwbacks, which we've seen a release here recently, was E-Pack only, and that focused around the 1989 retro period. The next Marvel Flair throwbacks will be designed around 1959 and 1963, probably with the baseball theme. Think the Mickey Mantle card. That will likely be an E-Pack only release, like the previous Marvel Flair throwbacks. I almost just did the Freudian slip there with Marvel Flair Retro. Marvel Flair Retro is from 2013 and 2015. Those 2 years were the first 2 years that we saw precious metal gems, or PMGs, and very desirable, highly sought after cards. And when the quality control is done right, they really are pretty cool to see in hand. Volume 3 is being worked on now. I don't know what years it's going to focus on in terms of the retro aspect of it, but we do have Marvel Flair Retro Volume 3 in the works. You're probably looking at a 2025 release on that one, but who knows? Then you have, this is going to be confusing, and I can't confirm the information necessarily one way or the other, but we have Marvel Masterpieces 2024. We've heard Upper Deck kind of mention that a little bit here and there. We've heard rumors around it, and we got Marvel Masterpieces 2022 that released late August of 2023, and we've yet to have the E-Pack release of Marvel Masterpieces 2022. And Upper Deck, which we'll talk about in a minute, had just announced Marvel Masterpieces XL, which is not a traditional release, and we'll get into that. So this is the next Marvel Masterpieces release that features one artist. It's a new set with original art. It's being worked on. I don't know who the artist is, and I don't know when it'll be released. If it follows kind of the normal course of business, it'll be late 2025 when it's released, but Marvel Masterpieces 2024 is in the works. Marvel Premiere has had the physical release. I am catching wind based on just some things that I'm hearing that's going to hit E-Pack probably May, June this summer, June, July, something like that. It's that set was originally supposed to release in 2021. It was greatly affected by COVID and did not release until 2023. So it's way behind. The E-Pack's way behind E-Pack release. And again, if you're not familiar with Marvel cards and how cards are distributed now, Upper Deck has a website called E-Packs where you can open the cards, and they're physical, but you're doing it online, and it's called E-Pack. So there's a physical release, and then there's an online release, but it's still physical cards. But again, Marvel Premiere 2021 should hit E-Pack this summer, probably June, if I had to guess, and probably before Dan DeSantos's Marvel Masterpieces from 2022. That's probably later in the year still, I think. I've mentioned it here on the channel before, but we also have Spider-Man renditions that those sketches have been done, I believe. And, these artists have to do the sketches, then deliver them to Upper Deck. And that's a lot of times how we know that the product's in the works, and also that, kind of the time frame of it. But those sketches, I believe, have been turned in. And then I'm hearing rumors of something called Rogues Gallery. I don't know much about it other than Rogues Gallery obviously means villains, but I'm hearing rumors about a villain set. So the question is, if Marvel Flair is going to release in May, then what's going to be the next kind of major set? We just had annual last week. I hope to open that on the channel here soon. But it's like the lowest tier in terms of pricing and card stock and things like that, although it does have incredible sketches in it. The next big set, Marvel Flair. And then I think that, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be Marvel Metal Avengers or if it's actually going to be this set that's kind of created a stir, which is Marvel Masterpieces XL. So let me pull up Marvel Masterpieces XL. Okay. Get to this website. And you should all be familiar with the fact that Joe Jessco did art for 2016 Marvel Masterpieces. They obviously also did 1992 Marvel Masterpieces. But kind of out of nowhere, I started hearing about this XL thing, and I couldn't really make sense of it. I saw some sketch card blanks, and you could tell that the back of the blanks were like the 2016 Marvel Masterpieces sketch card blanks in their design. So I was thinking like XL, maybe this means they're going to take, all the years of Masterpieces and combine it into this, incredible set from these artists, and maybe, get all the various artists from, past Masterpieces releases that are still living to do a few paintings and create this kind of mix art from these artists that's, from all Masterpieces from all years. But that was not the case. Actually, what it is a reprint. And not only is it a reprint, it's not going to be on the normal card stock that you and I are used to. So here's what it says. 2024 Skybox Marvel Masterpieces XL trading cards from Upper Deck delivers 10 what if cards plus 10 inserts or parallels plus find randomly inserted battle spectrum cards, holofoil cards, and serial number parallels in every box. Marvel Masterpieces XL is a maximized edition of Joe Jessco's 2016 Marvel Masterpieces product, delivered in a stunning, oversized, hear this, a stunning, oversized 5x7 format, 5 inches by 7 inches format in this limited release. Rediscover the work of this timeless product with iconic designs such as battle spectrums, holofoils, and canvas cards. Okay. Let me play this video here and give you a kind of a look at it. Get that volume off. Yeah, this has been received with like a real mixed review. First of all, it's a reprint. No matter how you shake it, that's what it is. Okay. We already have this art. It's already in, the 2016 Marvel Masterpieces set. It's already an iconic set. It's one that a lot of people really spent a lot of time, effort, and money on to put it together. And it's being reprinted. Now, how does that impact the collectability of 2016's, trading card set? Because it's not the same thing, meaning it's not the same size. It's not a, reprint scale to scale. It does create some opportunity for people who missed out, collecting Marvel cards in 2016 and opening up that product. I think I've seen where somebody posted a box of 2016 for $3,000. It's terribly expensive. And this does create the opportunity for some people to get that chance. Now, 2016 to 2024 seems like a short period of time to kind of honor a set with a reprint or re-release, right? Would be my thoughts. But they are going to be on these larger card stocks. So let me give you kind of a comparison here. So just as a comparison, let me put this down. Let me show you what a 5x7 would look like. So this is actually from FPG. This is a regular trading card size, and this holder is a 5x7. So that's going to be the size difference that you're going to have. And just to show you, it's just going to be different. So 5x7. Okay. And I do think, and I like what RMS is saying here, would love a bigger what if Venom. I do think that's cool. Also, a Battle Spectra gem of Carnage versus Venom in a larger size that I could put on the wall. Like, that actually sounds pretty cool. I'm a guy who likes to collect in the binder. For the most part, if it doesn't fit in a binder, I really don't want it. I'm barely a fan of horizontal cards. So, that are, traditional size. So when you get off scale, it can be a thing. But I will say I have loved, uncut sheets and oversized stuff in the past, just from a collectability standpoint, and having it displayed. So I do think there's going to be some elements of that that's really cool. I think the sketches are going to be the biggest draw. I think these artists, are hopefully put in a lot of their talents into the sketches, and if they're one per box, I think that will drive the product really strongly. If they're not one per box, that's they better have something else in there. Um, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the fact that uh, Mr. Joe has commented about this release, and I'm gonna read his comment. This is on Facebook's Marvel Masterpieces Collectors Worldwide, and there was a post there announcing this release, and Joe decided to respond, and this is what he said. And I'm gonna do my best to read it word for word. I put a lot of thought into whether or not I should address this. In answer to the numerous messages and inquiries I have received about 2024 Marvel Masterpieces XL cards, as of this moment, I cannot recall ever having heard anything from Upper Deck concerning this set, and as far as I can determine, will be getting no financial. I'm not even sure what he's saying there. He's not going to get any benefit from it, from the cards. As for the 10 new pieces in the IDW book that someone asked about in the comments, I volunteered those as an added sales incentive for the book and a bonus for these fans. Since I have never been paid by anyone for those images, they are not available to be used anywhere other than that book. I am, however, still seeing my name used in the promotion for that set, as in the Beckett article posted below. I hope I am wrong, but I can only look at all this as a cash grab on the back of all my hard work, as well as a giant you to me for refusing to work with them again. Almost 50 years in the business, I am still amazed at the lack of respect or gratitude some companies have for the talents that make them so much money. So I do think it's important that the artist's, attitude about the release is made known, and whatever your opinions are about that, it is what it is. Obviously, Upper Deck feels it's within their right to do it based on whatever agreement they have with Mr. Jessco, and he feels that he should be compensated for it. And I do think that will drive some people's interaction with this set. But either way, it still will be purchased. It still will be opened. That's what happens. Marvel card people can't help themselves at times. But hopefully they work it out. Hopefully Upper Deck and Joe works it out, and everybody's happy for it. But we know, because Joe says he can't even recall hearing about this release, that he didn't sign anything. So we won't be pulling any pack pulled Joe Jessco signed cards. So we're pretty sure about that. And I suspect that they're probably not going to do the gold foil version of it as well. So how that experience, that box ripping experience is going to be, I don't know. Will those prices, climb up? What will the initial pre-sales be? I don't know. I would tell you that I would view that set as, hey, I always wanted an opportunity to, own some Jessco work, which is incredible, right? It's the Wolverine, Tier 4 Wolverine. And I want to be able to maybe chase some of the art for a particular character that you collect, like our friend mentioned Venom here. But I don't see it as a set that you probably want to, think that you're going to get your money back on it. Because I do think you're going to have significant mixed reviews from people who feel like they will honor Joe by not buying it, or because it's not a traditional trading card set, they're not going to touch it. So be careful with that one. Okay, that actually brings me to one of the sets that's scheduled to release this year that I'm most excited about. And that is 2024 Marvel Metal Universe Avengers trading cards. We have talked about this on the channel briefly, but let me play this video for you. I joked whenever this was released, I said, Marvel Metal Assemble, because it appears to me they're taking the best of what Marvel Metal has offered through the years, from 1995, from the inaugural release, up through the years, particularly the retro years, from the sports design and what was been in the Marvel cards, and they kind of put it all into this set. And I'm really excited about it. I hope that they learn from the mistakes that they had from the X-Men metal release, where the PMGs were not properly foiled from a color standpoint and didn't fit what really drove the attraction to those cards. Although I do think they have a special place in the hobby, it's just not the same. Spider-Man metal, I that felt like Upper Deck was trying to right a bunch of wrongs with COVID, and they thought they were going to be able to get it right, and they just couldn't quite do it. Um, Spider-Man metal had a lot of issues, had a lot of hype, people lost a lot of money, had a lot of issues. And when you look at the way Platinum has landed, the quality control, the way the cards, the art, the information on the back of the cards, the way the characters are being cropped into the cards, all that's done so well. I've even seen the improvements in the most recent annual release. If that carries over into this metal release, I think it's going to be something that people really enjoy. I really do. Anything that has precious metal gems in it, it always has kind of this. It just has a lot around it. People love it. People hate it. People pump it. People dump it. Like it's got all that stuff, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's still a Marvel card that a lot of people enjoy, and I think it's going to be a great set. It's actually the set that I'm looking forward to the most. Platinum was really close to it, and still very much enjoying that one. But this one I'm really looking forward to. And let's go through this set real quick. Going to have 100 cards with the light FX. That's something that they do in the trading in the metal cards. Find beautifully colored ratio parallels. Chase the always popular precious metal gems. Grab a variety of theme inserts, including palladiums, which if they continue to do like they did with X-Men metal, Spider-Man metal, there's 50 of those cards. Although Spider-Man metal is missing the Mary Jane. Geos, which is a thicker card. It's like a shadow box. That's like going to be 25 of those. Something that's new, the Soldier medals. And these shadow box cards highlighting the greatest Captain America battles. Again, this is an Avengers set, so he's obviously going to be prominently featured. Metal X, something new as well. 50 cards, and it says PETG and rainbow foil board laminated cards. I have no idea what that means from a technology standpoint, and maybe it's a new technology, but that's going to be interesting to see. We got A-Force Raves, 50 specialized light FX cards featuring the legacy of female Avengers. A-Force is always associated with female superheroes, and so we're going to get a 50 card female Avengers team. As a Magic fan, I really hope that she's in that 50. I can't imagine she's not. Planet Metal, 20 metal cards shown in iron, copper, platinum, and gold colors. We've had those in Spider-Man metal, X-Men metal. X-Men metal was numbered gold to 15, Spider-Man metal to 25. That's all about print run, so I suspect this one will be 25 as well. Platinum Portraits, 20 stipple design case hits. Purely Periodics. Okay, so Purely Periodics was one of the surprise inserts in X-Men metal that I think people really enjoyed. It's a super difficult set to collect because the cards are not all numbered the same. There were cards numbered as low as 3. There was a secret checklist where cards were not announced, and they had low numbering as well. Some of the art was really good. Some of it was not great. Quality control was not great in X-Men metal. They were not all centered. So if you get a PSA 9 or 10, you really have something. But I am excited to see these periodic metals. Going to be curious to see how the Avengers show up on that. Metal Heads, 30 embossed foil cards with 90 retro aesthetic. I'm a 90s kid, so that will likely appeal to me. Arc welds, also you can see what those look like from X-Men metal. They were not in Spider-Man metal. Blast furnace, the same thing. It's a really nice kind of foiling effect, almost like a firework. But that feels like a lot. And what I think is likely going to happen when you see something like this is that the unboxing experience is going to be really good, meaning there's going to be a hit virtually in every pack. Doesn't mean it's going to be like a valuable hit. Don't hear that, but like it's going to be an insert in basically every pack. They're doing a really good job in the way that they're structuring these sets to really feed into what the hobby is becoming, which is a lot of gambling, unfortunately, where people are opening online and things like that, and they want to see hits, and there's that experience that they're creating with the way it's structured. And I think this is going to fit that pretty strongly. Big chase hits. They're saying the high series cards, so you're going to have probably 1 to 100. They're going to be printed, and then your high series, if it's a 200, if it's a 200 checklist like X-Men and Spider-Man Metal, they're going to be shorter printed. Okay. Grandiose parallels are unnumbered serial number parallels. And the question is, will those serial number parallels also include the PMGs? And I don't think so. I think PMGs are going to be a subset, like a parallel of another subset, not a parallel of the base set. If you didn't follow me, I apologize, but just know that's an important aspect of PMGs. And for Marvel cards, I can't speak for sports cards, but for Marvel cards, the community has responded more positively when the PMG is a parallel of a subset, meaning we don't need 200 characters to all have a precious metal gem. It's better when you have a checklist of 35 to 50 characters and they have the parallels. So that's what I'm getting at. But the design looks really good. I'm hoping this set delivers in the way that Upper Deck intends to. I certainly am counting on it. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's see what else we have next. The next big set release here that's anticipated this year is Fleer Ultra Wolverine. So let me pull that one up. Fleer Ultra Wolverine. Fleer Ultra, one of the favorite sets of Marvel card collectors for sure. And when will this be released? I mean, it feels like it could be this summer, but and Upper Deck has not shied away of giving us multiple releases in a month. But again, when it's a premium or premier card stock and set that people really like and look forward to, it's hard to see it like doubling up. But I'm thinking summer, early fall, but honestly, I don't really have any basis of that other than it feels like it's been around a while. The sketch cards been around a while. The art's been around a while, and it's just, I guess, probably whenever Upper Deck gets ready for it. But this will not have precious metal gems, which other Fleer Ultra releases have had, like Fleer Ultra X-Men, Fleer Ultra Spider-Man. They have moved precious metal gems away from that brand, and they're keeping it with the metal brand, which makes sense to me. And they're using medallions now, which is a similar type of foiling. But you do have these jambalayas in here. This is going to feel a lot like the Midnight Suns release or the Avengers release. And so again, medallions, EX entries. They do have a new insert called Fleer Ultra Pop Culture Cards. Family Genealogy is a new one. We're going to see Ultra abilities and 3x3s again. This is an original art set, and that does drive the needle for collectors at times, whether it be the Flare or the Fleer Ultra or the Masterpieces and Premiere. Those are the four big original art releases that they do. And that will, you have people who like to acquire the painting and then chase the cards that are associated with those paintings. And then people love to see new art they've never seen before that they can't go find somewhere else. You can only find it on the trading card. So that always moves the needle as well. And with this being Wolverine, look, hands down, Wolverine is a top 2 character in Marvel cards, Spider-Man being number 1. I don't think there's any debate there, but Wolverine, I think, is a clear number 2. In fact, I would say he's actually been moving closer to Spider-Man as of late. And you have obviously the movie coming out with Wolverine versus Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine, whatever the actual title is. That certainly has an impact on pop culture when you have a movie like that. And it's going to be one of the only big movies for Marvel this year. X-Men 97 is doing really well. Wolverine is featured strongly in there. And so that just has a way of putting him more top of mind. When a set, carrying his name is going to be released, people are going to be excited about it. And I do get nervous with these type of releases because you're not getting like a sketch in every box like you used to in Masterpieces, and you're not guaranteed like a precious metal gem in every box. And even though that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to get your money back, it does make me nervous that I don't know that there are going to be cards in here that are going to really move the needle for people to be able to get their money back, depending on what the box prices are. I think the prices right now, and I haven't been quoting prices because they change and depending on when you watch this video, but they're probably around $235, $250. If those box prices, move up to $300 to $400, especially if you're breaking like on Whatnot or Fanatics or anything like that, you know, 300, 400. It's going to be really difficult to hit a card that you're going to be able to sell to get your money back. Like it just will be. And we saw that with both Fleer Ultra Avengers and Midnight Suns. Your cards are going to be $15 to $100 cards on average, $200 cards on average. And so you got to be really careful with buying into this product at a high level where you're trying to hit really hard. So they do have some big cards in here. The black 1-of-1 medallions are big, but that's look, I opened up a bunch of this Fleer Ultras and I've never hit a 1-of-1 out of it. So you got to be really careful with that. But I am out the end of my time. I have to get to an event, and I just wanted to, again, go through these upcoming releases so you can get it in the top of your mind. You can start preparing how you want to attack the rest of the year so you're not caught off guard. Generally, the best time to buy Marvel boxes to open is pre-order. They generally don't get better until later on. And what I mean by that is if you take a look at Marvel Masterpieces. Marvel Masterpieces is likely being controlled in its release very strongly by the distributors, and those prices have not dropped down below $700 or $800 at any point in time. But if you pre-ordered, you were able to get them closer to $500. But you do have boxes like Beginnings or where are, let's see, Allegiance, like Avengers versus X-Men. Those boxes, some of those have dropped down below the original pre-order. You had to be patient. Like you had to really wait. And so your higher tier products like your Fleer Ultra and your medals and your masterpieces and premieres, if you want to have an opening experience, you really need to pre-order at least one box. That way you don't fall into the hype, right? If you wait until it releases, the prices can go up, especially if these distributors, see that a slow burn will net more profit. So you got to be careful with that. But all right, guys, we'll do a follow-up video and answer questions. Again, I needed to get this video out. I've been meaning to do it for weeks. And with these releases coming, time wasn't on my side, but I've got to run, go do an event. Thank you for watching. Do me a favor. If you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss it in the future. If you enjoyed this video and the information that was provided, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below and I'll do my best to get to them. And one more time, Marvel EX has not been announced, but it's out there. Marvel Fleer throwbacks featuring 1959 through 1963 baseball style. Marvel Fleer Retro Volume 3. That's pretty big news, guys. 2024 Marvel Masterpieces is in the works. E-Pack, likely this summer for 2021 Marvel Premiere, Spider-Man Editions, and then we hear rumors about a Rose Gallery. All right, that's enough for me today. I probably got in trouble. Have a marvelous day.